Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Nina, and today I am going to be talking about all of my favorites for the month of January. I was very inspired by all these podcasts that I've been listening to lately, and like everyone kind of gives their life updates in the beginning of the episode, and that's usually my favorite part. So I wanted to do one too. So these are basically products, media, and just things that I've been really enjoying for the last month and everything that I've been learning recently. So let's get into it. All right, so first I'm going to talk about beauty / skincare products. First up, one of my very favorites. It is the Replica perfume. There it is. It's very pretty. It's so good. I talked about this in one of my last videos, but I really needed a new perfume, and I've heard really great things about this, and it does not disappoint. They have a ton of different scents, so I basically went into Sephora and smelled them all a million times, and this one just really stuck out to me. So it is the Coffee Break scent, and it's described as creamy and cozy coffee. It's so hard to describe, and I think that's why I love it so much. I've never smelled anything like it before. It's just very warm and cozy. It has a kind of vanilla-y scent, which I love, but every time I put it on, I'm just obsessed. Or like when I put on clothes that I had been wearing it, I'm like, oh, it smells so good. So that is definitely a favorite of mine. It's super pretty too. I just love it. But they have all these different scents that are supposed to mimic different memories. That's that one. Next, it has been ridiculously cold out, and for me that means I have incredibly dry skin. So I've been loving this Working Hands. My mom actually got this for me because she was like, it is the only thing that works on like super dry hands. And I get very, very dry hands in the winter, super cracked and like red, and they just look and feel awful. But I will say this is the first winter that I feel like I really haven't dealt with that because I've been using this. So you can get this at like any pharmacy. The brand is O'Keefe's. It's really affordable. I have this tube and I have a little like jar of it. So loving that. I think it's a necessity for the winter for sure. Another thing that I've been loving, especially in the winter, is the Hero Cosmetics Rescue Balm. That's that. So Hero Cosmetics is the brand that makes a lot of pimple patches, and I discovered this at Target, and I heard that it is really good for people who pick at their skin, which I do, which is so bad. But it's post blemish recovery cream. So it's basically cream that's made for if you like pick on a scab or something, pick a pimple on your skin. So this has been really good for me. I do notice a difference. Usually like I put it on before bed, and most of the times I feel like it looks visibly better. Another thing is just having like cream on your blemishes. I feel like for me helps me not pick them. So it's just been really good for that. So love that, recommend. Okay, next is like an underrated favorite. I feel like no one knows about this. Maybe they do, but I feel like this is like my secret, and I am not gatekeeping anymore. It's the Trader Joe's Shea Butter and Coconut Oil Hair Serum. Okay, I know what you're thinking, Trader Joe's beauty products? And I would be skeptical as well. However, this is amazing. Let me tell you why Trader Joe's has incredible beauty products. So I've been trying in the last year or so to transition over to almost completely natural, clean skincare and beauty products, and I have this app and put you onto it. It's called Think Dirty. That's what it looks like. And basically you can go in this app and put in a product, and it will rate every single ingredient and tell you if that ingredient is harmful or not. It gives it like a red, yellow, or green light. So nice. But I put these Trader Joe's products in here, and they have amazing ratings. They're very clean and they're very affordable. This I think is $4.99 or $5.99 for this bottle, but you can see I've used like maybe that much, and I've had it for a really long time. It says it helps tame, frizz, and add shine, and it really does that. I have really frizzy hair when I let my hair dry naturally. I've also been like blowing my hair out lately, and a lot of times if I do that right after a shower, it's very frizzy, it's very like full, it just doesn't look good. So I will put this on when my hair is damp. I'll put on a heat protection oil, and then I'll put in a little bit of this in my damp hair, and then I'll blow it out, and it looks beautiful and shiny, and it feels so soft. It makes my hair so so soft right after I wash it, which is just like unheard of. Oh my god, it feels amazing. Another thing I've been using it for is when I'm not using heat on my hair, I've been like braiding my hair just to give it some waves lately, and I'll put this in before I braid it, and the braids come out looking like beautiful and defined and not frizzy. It is so nice, and it's like $6. I highly recommend next time you go to Trader Joe's, get this. It's so good. It smells really good too, and it doesn't feel too heavy. Just don't use too much because it is an oil. But yeah, love that. Going off of that, like I said, I've been loving blowing out my hair lately, and one of my new favorites is silk or satin scrunchies. I've had this for a while, but I just thought it was pretty, but I didn't really know what the use was for. And recently I was listening to a Gals on the Go podcast. If you guys listen to Brooke Michio, she had her mom on, Adina. I love her mom so much. She's like so fun. But she was talking about how her mom gets blowouts like twice a week, and her hair is just always blown out. And she said that she sleeps with her hair in a high pony and a silk scrunchie every single night, and that like preserves the blowout. And I was like, wait, I've never done this, because I always sleep with my hair down and it looks so bad in the morning. But I literally like have not slept with my hair up for most of my life. But I started doing it with this silk scrunchie, and I will put my hair in a super high pony. And I don't tie it too tight, just like twice around, like that, literally like this. And this is how I sleep, and it is amazing. It works wonders, and it's not uncomfortable. I'm someone who hates having my hair up. Like, I never put my hair up because it just like gives me headaches. It feels so uncomfortable to me, but this is not uncomfortable at all. I just put it like right on top of my head. Usually when I wake up, it's like falling down, but then you take it out. My blowout looks like so fresh. I'm exposing myself here, but this is day 3, yeah. This is day 3 of my blowout. I haven't washed my hair. I've been doing this every night, and it looks fresh. So, highly recommend that. I don't know if I'll ever go back, but I just noticed that this is ripping, so I'm gonna need to get some more. Last beauty product that was my favorite in January is my Merit lip oil. If you haven't watched my Get Ready With Me for New Year's Eve video, that was sponsored by Merit Beauty. They sent me some products and I love them so much, but my absolute favorite so far is the lip oil. I was skeptical because I really don't like things on my lips, especially if they're too heavy, and I don't really like gloss either, but this is perfect. It is so lightweight. It's so pretty. It feels very natural. I'm wearing it right now. I'll put some more on. It amazes me. It doesn't feel like anything is on. And that's it. It's so pretty. I've been wearing it like every time I go out, so I definitely want to get it in some more colors. But this is, I believe this is the shade Taupe, but I will link everything down below. All right, my next category is going to be media, my favorite things I've been reading, watching, listening to lately. I've been on a huge reading kick, which I am quite happy about. One of my favorites that I think really spurred this kick for me is Cultish. If you haven't heard of it, it's written by Amanda Montell. It's nonfiction. It's about cults, which I love. I'm like obsessed with learning about cults, and I always have been. But it's about cults and the language that surrounds them, and I'm a big English nerd. I'm a big writer, so this is good for me. But she writes about how the reason cults like are able to do what they do is because of the language that they use. And then she goes on to talk about different facets of our society that are kind of like cults that we don't really see as cults, but she argues that they are because of the tactics that they use to gain a following. And it is amazing. So you get a little bit of like history about all the big cults that you know, and I almost said know and love, the big cults that you know about, like the Manson cult, Heaven's Gate, Jim Jones, like all these. You get to learn about like their history, but then you also get to read about SoulCycle and CrossFit or Lululemon, Apple, like these big brands and these big like movements in our society that she's like, yeah, they're cults. So it's super interesting. It's really like educational, but it's also entertaining. I love how she writes. It's funny and I love it. I haven't gotten super far into it. I've been reading it like very slowly because I've been reading other things too, but it's like I look forward to reading this. So I didn't finish it, but it was one of my favorites. As far as shows go, my favorites for the month of January, I think I discovered one of my favorite shows in a very long time, and that is The Sex Lives of College Girls. It came out like very early this year. If you haven't heard of it, it was written and produced by Mindy Kaling. I don't even know how to describe it because it kind of like ticks all the boxes. It's funny, it's like heartwarming, it's emotional, it's deep, and it's just so fun. It's on HBO Max and it was a 10 episode series and I was so sad for it to be over. But it centers around the lives of these 4 different college girls who come from very different backgrounds, and they all get placed in a suite together, so they're all roommates. It follows all of their storylines, and I just fell in love with the characters. Like, I want to be friends with them. I want to like take care of them. I want the best for them. I laughed so hard. I also cried in some episodes. Like, it was so good, and I cannot wait for the next season, whenever that will be. So that is the best show I've watched in a very long time, I would say. My other favorite show that I was watching in January is And Just Like That, the Sex and the City reboot. I know it gets a lot of hate, and it definitely is not without its flaws. It's not a perfect show, but I still like would look forward to watching it every week. I loved the original Sex and the City. After like the initial shock of the first 2 episodes, they like really came out with a bang, and that shook a lot of people up. It shook me up for sure, but I think like as it went on, it found its footing a little bit more, and it still felt to me like the old show in a lot of ways. Like, it just felt like a continuation of it, and I love the characters, so that was fun. I did finish it last week. I'm kind of sad. Lastly, for media, I have to say, I mentioned it before, but I have been obsessed with podcasts. They have been getting me through. For some reason, like, podcasts while I work has just been getting me through. I get like hyper focused. I put my podcast on, I put my blue light glasses on, and I am like focused. So I have my like podcasts that I listen to while I work, which are more like motivational and inspirational, and then I have like my fun podcasts that I listen to while I walk or work out. So these are the few that have been in my rotation. Mood with Lauren Elizabeth. I love Lauren Elizabeth. She was my favorite YouTuber back in the day, and I love her podcast so much. She talks so just vulnerably about her journey with anxiety and just mental health issues, and she talks about like her journey. She talks about things that her therapist tells her to do. She talks about her like mood boosters every week, which are things that like get her through, get her out of a rut, and that alone is like so refreshing for me to see like someone else who's dealing with things that I'm dealing with. She also has like really great episodes where she brings guests on. She's had doctors, she's had like life coaches, just people who deal with these sort of things, and it is just so informative and inspirational, and when it's not that, it just makes me feel like seen and heard. So I love Mood with Lauren Elizabeth. Definitely check that out if you haven't. Another favorite of mine is Anything Goes with Emma Chamberlain. I know like I don't have to plug her, but I like just discovered her podcast in this last month, and she really does have some good episodes. I didn't know what to expect, but she does talk a lot about those same type of things, like struggling with mental health, being in ruts, like feeling unmotivated, or things that like get her out of bed in the morning, like her routines, and just things that like she loves doing. And I just love hearing that kind of thing, and it inspires me to like want to be my best self too. So there's that. And then I guess my more fun podcasts that are my faves are Gals on the Go. Everyone loves them, I'm sure, but I just love Brooke and Danielle. I've like followed them for so long. I just love hearing them talk and like talk about what they love. Like lately they have been doing a lot more like life advice and talking about like manifestation. I know these are like the most popular podcasts ever, but I love them. So those are a few of my favorite media type things that I've been consuming the last month. I think the last category is going to be pretty random. My favorite miscellaneous random things in general. First is brown sugar cookie lattes from Dunkin'. They're so good. I think last month they released this new flavor, brown sugar cookie. It is so good, and I just am discovering that like I think brown sugar is one of my favorite flavors for coffee. I crave this so much. I also tried like the brown sugar shaken espresso from, I almost said from Target, from Starbucks. That's really good too. This Dunkin' flavor has like spurred my cravings. So anytime I go to a coffee shop, I get brown sugar flavoring, but this is the key. It has to be an iced oat milk latte with brown sugar syrup, and I get it half sweetened because I don't like it to be too sweet. This just gets me out of bed in the morning. The oat milk is so creamy, and I think like you just need to get oat milk in your lattes if you don't already. It's just rich and smooth, and it's so good, and the brown sugar tastes amazing. So that's what I've been getting everywhere that I go, everywhere that I can get it. I highly recommend. If you haven't tried the Dunkin' one, I actually love Dunkin's lattes. I was kind of a Dunkin' hater for a long time, but their lattes, like espresso, it's hard to mess up. And their lattes are so good. Another favorite of mine has been making cocktails. This has been so fun for me. When I moved into my apartment, I got a bar cart because I just think they're so cool. And my boyfriend also got me a cocktail set. So I've been having so much fun making cocktails. We will like pick a new one that we want to try on the weekends. Like we made Manhattans a couple weekends ago. We tried whiskey sours, Moscow mules. What else? We tried like Tom Collins. It's just so much fun. In my mind, I feel like these are things that like, oh, I can never make them. Like I just get them at a restaurant or get them at a bar. But then you're like, oh wait, I can actually make these. Like they have these ingredients. I don't know if that's just me, but they seem so complicated, but like they're really not. And I just find it so fun to get the ingredients and put them together. It's kind of like an extension of cooking for me. And I think I just really enjoy like creating things and like producing things for myself, if that makes sense. Like the act of like making a meal or crafting a cocktail just feels so like rewarding. But it's been so much fun, and I decided to start a series on my Instagram where I do a new cocktail hopefully every week. I don't know if I'll get to do every week, but I just want to try to make all these fun things, and I've been having fun with it, and I think other people would enjoy it. So if you don't follow me, check that out at Anina's Diaries. Follow my Instagram. But yeah, that's been fun. Another favorite of mine has been 12-3-30. I know I am so late to the trend on this, but this has been like the only way that I feel like I can work out lately. Lauren Geraldo like popularized this last year, but you basically just go on the treadmill and you put the incline to 12, the speed to 3, and you do it for 30 minutes. And it seems very simple. It is a killer workout, okay? It's hard. Like you don't think that it would be, but it is. It's been so cold and snowy here, and these sidewalks are atrocious, so I can't really walk outside like I would like to. I much prefer to walk outside. But doing this in the little gym in my apartment, like at weeknights after work, I get out of work, run to the gym, do my 12-3-30, and then I come home and cook dinner, and it's like such a nice little routine. But yeah, it is hard. I usually will like put on a show or like a podcast while I do it, but I think the hardest part is like the length of time, because it feels like a really long time, 30 minutes, but it's still good. I really break a sweat. I really feel like I did something. I am whooped after that. So I would recommend that if you haven't tried it. I think it's a really good way to like get back into doing your workouts. So yes, those were some of my favorite things in the month of January. It's really fun to kind of look back and see everything that I've been loving and like reflect on this whole month, because it flew by. But I have high hopes for February, so you bet your bottom dollar I will be back doing my February favorites March 1st. Maybe not March 1st, but one of those days. I will link everything that I can down below. Highly recommend all of these things. Make sure you follow my Instagram at Anina's Diaries for more, because I am always posting on there. And make sure you're subscribed, because I would love to have you here. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.